The future is here. An innovation that will change the way the industry works. A Hot 100 chart, updated daily. The most accurate price guide on the market. Every card has its own profile with a wealth of information. Know the precise, real-time value of any card in the system. On demand. You now have the power to unlock the secrets of the hobby. The game changer is here. Card Ladder.
Please, no echo. Yes.
All right. It was probably my fault. The stupid phone.
Well, you know, the Android-Apple debate is real.
There's a reason that Apple phones sell more often. Well, I guess Android phones sell more often because there's more of them, but Apple phones are regarded as better phones. I was saying that the Lakers, this is LeBron's best chance, for sure. Like, all the best players are out. They have to win. They have to.
I don't think they could have asked for much better. If you said before the playoffs began, what 4 teams would you like to play? And one of your options is the Trailblazers, the Rockets, the Nuggets, and then the Heat or the Celtics. Yeah, we'll take that, please.
No Clippers, no Bucks, no Curry, no Durant, no Luka. Dude,
Yeah.
I think the Mavs would have given them more trouble than these teams they've faced.
Dude, it's sad to say, but it's true. These, especially matchup wise, you know, we were talking earlier. You were like, dude, the Nuggets have a big matchup problem with the Lakers. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, the problem is that they don't have anyone to stop the Lakers' 2 best players, and the Lakers' 2 best players can slow down the Nuggets' 2 best players. That's a big problem. And if you have Rondo and Howard controlling the pace of the game, dude, it's over.
Yeah, you do. Rondo has been the bench corral master. And so they got the bench unit going now. He's throwing lobs to frickin' Dwight Howard. Forget about it.
If the Lakers win the championship this year and LeBron has his 4th ring, his 3rd team, they win it for Kobe, I'm just going to die a happy man. Like, honestly, like, it's all house money for me for the rest of my sports watching career.
Yeah, dude. And, you know, selfishly, I look forward to a Lakers win as well. I think it will be great for the hobby. You know, anytime superstars, the marquee athlete wins, it just is good for sports. The NBA knows that. We know that. LeBron cards will become more collectible than ever.
100%. Same for football. The NFL would love to have Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl every year. Are you kidding me? Great storylines.
Absolutely.
Can you imagine Nuggets Heat finals? No offense to Nuggets and Heat fans and players and everything, but like that would be pretty rough.
That would be rough. Shout out to Card Fiend too, by the way, man. We see you, dude. Yeah.
Like the basketball purists are the only ones who are like, yeah, bring it on. But like the casual fans, like, what? My wife asked me today. She's like, do I know anyone in the Nuggets? And I was like, I'm not even gonna try to explain to you the Nuggets or the Celtics or the Heat. Like Durant's gone, Curry's gone. Like she knows those guys, and it's like past that, she's like, nah.
Yeah. And yeah, there's so many levels to the Lakers winning, and the Lakers are going to be formidable for years to come. So we might see a new dynasty forming, honestly.
It's like, I don't know how it's happening, but like, still, dude, he tweaked it. He rolled his ankle. Like, it didn't go like fully sideways, but like a normal player would probably be out for the next 2 games. He stood up, tied his shoes tighter, and just pretended like it didn't happen.
Yeah, and like the announcers were like, we're going to keep an eye on this.
The next play was a dunk, and he's like, well, maybe not.
That was vintage. Yeah, he just tied his shoe a little tighter. Said, okay.
Dude, that dude is like, I don't know what he does to train his body and like get himself to be this durable, but my gosh, whatever he's doing, keep doing it.
It's freakish.
He's the most durable athlete in the history of sports. Fight me on that.
I
Like,
who's the counter to that? You know,
it was like the minutes, the amount of like usage rate, the pressure, the mental pressure, like nobody can even come close to the amount of minutes and pressure minutes and it's crazy. That's why when
Yeah.
people, oh, he's going to be injury prone now because of the groin thing, it's like, what? He's like the most durable player of all time, and you're now going to bring up injuries because of 1 year where he was down for injury? Come on.
Yeah. Yep. That 100%. Okay. What's up, chat? You want to throw some topics here?
But you said you said that you had some cool topics for.
I do. I just want to give the chat a chance, but the window is passing here. Let's see. Oh, somebody says durability. Juan says except for MJ. Well, MJ had far fewer NBA seasons. But what is interesting and I think optimistic for LeBron fans is that even when MJ came back at age 39, age 40, after a few months, he had returned to his statistical averages.
Yep.
That may bode quite well for LeBron playing into age 40 or longer at a high level.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He was good on the Wizards. People just like assume that he sucked, but man, he was good. He was scoring. He was like one of the best scorers in the NBA. He made the All-Star team. Like, he was pretty good.
Yeah, he was good. It was during his first year back. He returned to his statistical averages. Then he got the injury. They were playoff bound. Who knows? Who knows what would have happened in that situation?
That like you still need to have a good team, even if you're the GOAT. Like I know he's older and like, but still like if he had a better team, he would have done a lot better in those years at the end. And I think that's kind of like an underrated part of LeBron. Is that you can say that he like chases, playing with superstars and like setting up teams, and he's sort of like a GM, but he's doing that intentionally so that he can always be in a position to be on a winning team, and I think he's going to continue to do that. He's realizing that he's going to eventually have to give the team over to Davis or whoever it might be, but he's always going to put himself in a position to like get far in the playoffs, even if he's not the one leading the charge. And I think for MJ, that's like he was so prideful that he had to be the number one no matter what. And same with Kobe. That's why those two guys struggled on teams at the end of their careers, because they just could not give up that. And I think LeBron will, because I think he cares more about the winning and the assists and getting a team involved and stuff. They're just different personalities.
Yeah, they are. Yes, indeed they are. In the Luca chat, Card Fiend brought up the question. He said, if tonight is like representative of what the Lakers are going to play like for the next 2 rounds, where Davis is going off for 40 burgers and LeBron is put in solid, 20, 10, 5 games. Tonight he was 15, 12, and 6. Does Davis win the Finals MVP?
Yes. I don't think that LeBron cares about that at all. And I think if you actually asked him, he would want Davis to win the Finals MVP. Honestly, I think he would. That sounds crazy, and Jordan would never want that ever.
No, he wouldn't.
And it's just like a different style, right? Like a lot of people. This is why there's such a hot debate between those two guys, because like some people want Jordan's personality and their athletes, and some people want LeBron. And I guess it's like a personality thing. Like you can't change who those guys are as humans. They're both like incredible basketball players, obviously, but they're just different people. Like one guy wants to lean into his team and like he wants everyone else to be happy, and Jordan just wants to like win at any cost, and he wants him to be the one to lead that. It's just different.
Very different. And dude, the GOAT debate is so stupid. It's so worn and played, and I mean, are people talking about Mickey Mantle versus Babe Ruth right now? Like, it's a clickbait topic. It's a fun barbershop discussion, but I think a number of people have made the point. Enjoy the great players while they're playing. Don't worry so much about who's the best, who's not the best. Enjoy the great players while they're playing. And if you have like a hobby interest in this, a rising tide lifts all boats, guys. A rising tide lifts all boats in this hobby. The great players markets move together. It's a good thing when the great players do great things.
I'm also a huge proponent of the like era argument on like who's the best, and I just refuse to try to say is Wilt or LeBron better. It's impossible because like we'll never know, and it's just like you said, it's just a clickbait thing, and like it's just better to segment it by era. Like, do you think Kevin Durant is better all time or LeBron? Or do you think Kobe or Duncan, Jordan or Bird, Magic? You have to do it that way. It's just not the way.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. And man, card collecting, man, has reminded me, especially lately, of how many, not a ton, but there are great players besides LeBron and MJ who played in this league and who did incredible things. Wilt, Bill Russell, Jerry West, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Dr. J. There are great players in the history of basketball who did amazing things that are worth looking at and thinking about and going back over. These guys are top 10, top 15 all-timers. There's a lot to enjoy in basketball history if you expand your horizon a little bit. Shout out Jordan. Peace, man. Okay. Let's get some more questions here. All right. So this is a fun one. It's a fun one. I my answer to this is so easy. This comes from Cooks CLLC. He said, if you had an unlimited bankroll with no need to climb the ladder. I love how everybody's using that climb the ladder ever since you and Lefko made that a thing. If you had unlimited bankroll, no need to climb the ladder, who or what are you collecting?
LeBron and Jordan.
Yeah, right. Yes.
Because I love flexing, I love it. Who doesn't? The top 9 thing that Tyler Sports Guy does is like everyone just jumps at it and posts it because it's fun, man. It's really fun to line up your top 9 cards and post it. And those 2 guys are just like the best flex of all time. I'd probably just buy a lot more of everything, Like I would love to I would focus on those 2 guys, but I would just have a lot of stuff. I would just be buying fucking cards all day long, honestly. I'd just be seeing, I'd be like, I have every freaking card. I'd have so much volume. I'd have so much high end. Pretty sick.
Dude, Santos Collectibles says MJ, LeBron, Kobe. Joe says Metal Planet, or Planet Metal. Card Fiend says LeBron, Jordan, and Kobe. Luka, of course.
You know what? Hey, hold on. The answers that you guys give right now are the people that you would collect.
Yes. That's why I love this question, because this question is so insightful. But for me, it was insightful for me too. I was like, dude, it's Michael Jordan, it's LeBron, it's Kobe, it's the greats. I would get the best cards or the best players from the best sets. Simple. I would go get a LeBron RPA Exquisite out of 23.95. I would go get that card. I would get LeBron 2012 Prism Gold. I would go get MJ PMG Green. I would go get one of the BGS 10 MJ rookies. I would get Kobe Precious Metal Gem Green. Those are the dream cards that I would go after. I would get Kobe credentials out of 8 too, for the second year credential. That card is absolutely gorgeous. And then when you start thinking about this, like, okay, if I have an unlimited bankroll, I would start, well, why aren't we like following that philosophy in our limited bankrolls as well, right? Like, there's something to recommend it there.
The funny thing is that like all those cards you named with an unlimited bankroll, good fucking luck getting those cards, even with an unlimited. Good luck.
Even with that's.
It would take you years to get those cards. Years. You know where they are too.
Yep.
You and I can name people that have all those cards, and there's no chance you're getting any of them.
Nope, no chance at all. That's.
You basically are calling that and him laughing at you on the phone.
Dude, has any I would love to hear like a war story of somebody who tried to like pry a grail out of Nat's PC, like one of those Jordan Masterpiece 101s or one of the '03 exquisite 101s that he just got. Like how do you even negotiate that? Like
if I'm for the purpose of the argument, if Jeff Bezos called Nat and was like, "But I want your whole collection, just tell me how much."
dude, Nat would say, "No way in hell, guy. No way." Because that collection, building that collection,
Yeah.
building that collection is too much fun. It's too much work. That when we talk about the intrinsic value of cards, that's it in a nutshell right there.
Remember, like I kind of get angry sometimes because people overprice their cards when they go to sell, but I think they do that because they're like, I'm not just selling you a card at like market value. I'm selling you the card at market value plus what it means to me and how much time I spent to get it, and it's just like you just do that naturally, you know. You don't. It's like
It's so true. In economics, it's called the endowment effect. There's been research done on this topic, extensive research, that when you own something, you value it more than if you didn't own it. It will take more money for you to give it up than you would pay to buy it. It's just a human psychological phenomenon. Like literally, when you own something, you value it more.
it's
It
funny
really happens.
in fantasy football when someone makes me a trade offer. I always react with like, no, I like my players better than your players, and then like in a vacuum, if I had to pick between the two, I'm like, I'd probably pick the other guy. But no, I'm not doing the trade because I picked that guy for a reason, right? And I picked that card. There's a reason that I have it, and I'm not selling it.
You know, maybe I would buy the whole print run of these. Just the whole print run. Just get all 100,000.
I've
Just
got
line them up.
there off your list.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good place to start. Great question.
Because I include those cards in a package when I sell to people.
Hey, what is this card, Christina? What's this card selling for right now? The Keith Shore Griffey.
Oh my god! Watch, it's like $100, and I'm just giving away money.
Oh, I'm gonna guess more like 5.
$5? No way.
What are these listings at here?
11, $9.99, $3.
$3. Okay, so you could buy it for $3.
Hey, check it out. Ready? Check this out.
Ooh, talk about
They're
this.
selling for like $7.
Okay, talk about this card right there.
2 weeks ago, we were like, you should buy. Someone was like, buy the Barry Bonds, and I was like, you know what? You're right. I will go buy that card, and I did.
Talk about this card.
It's like 500 something Barry Bonds. I was like, you know what? This is the only vintage card I own, and I thought it was like a fun idea, and I would love to follow up with my fellow crossover fans that I did buy this card. So, there you
Dude,
go.
props to you. Baseball in the PC. Can we talk about that? How does that feel?
Weird, very very weird. I don't know what to do with it. Like, they can't touch my LeBron card, so I'm just like, yeah, it's kind of cool. You know, like it's different. I just like that it's different. You know, like I have the same kind of style to my cards, and to have something totally outside of that it's different. It's fun. Yes, the Tiffany. Can someone explain to me what the difference is? It looks like a regular base card to me. Someone's like, oh, the Tiffany is like glossy. I don't see it. He doesn't have any, like, there's no shine, so like, I don't know what to do.
That was glossy in the 80s. That's what glossy meant.
It's a fun card because and it's crazy because like I was watching a lot of Barry Bonds highlights after that live the other night, and man, that dude was good. And I watched the Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa documentary the other night. It was very interesting, man. And those guys hated those two guys after that happened. Like, they interviewed Bob Costas in it, and Bob Costas was like, I think those guys were great. They saved the game. But they're not going to the Hall of Fame. And he was not serious, and I was like, oh shit, Costa, like, calm down, bro. Like, those guys are pretty like awesome for the game, and you're just like, he's like, they're not getting the Hall of Fame. Like, and I just didn't feel that way. Like, I was like, these guys are tight, and they they did something that everyone else was doing at the time, and I just don't see it.
Dude, they were dead serious. Baseball guys are dead serious about that stuff. Pete Rose, it's so serious. I was in the stands as a young boy when Mark McGwire hit like his 63rd home run.
No.
I think. Yes, I was at a Milwaukee Brewers game. I remember it well. I remember the ball. I remember everyone thinking the ball was worth like $1 million when the guy in the bleachers caught it. I was there. I'm thinking of that because somebody wrote in a question. Catching Heaters, who I see in the chat. What's up, man? He said, "What is your favorite sports moment that you've been able to watch live and attend in person?" I have not witnessed very many great sports moments. That was just like one of McGuire's, but I thought about it when he asked that question. I don't know. I haven't really witnessed very much great stuff. Do you have an interesting answer to that question? Your favorite sports moment live? Yeah.
No, more of a YouTube TV kind of guy, you know. Like I just yeah, when the Cavs were making their runs with the second stint of going to the finals every year, every year I'm like I'm gonna fucking buy a plane ticket, and I just never did. I go to every LeBron game when he's in Phoenix, but it's hard with the family and stuff, so I just haven't. Yeah, someone posted like Bonds would have been a Hall of Famer without. Dude, Bonds would have been like the GOAT without roids. Dude, go look at his stats. He has like the highest WAR of all time, which is like the nerdy baseball stat that everyone loves for Trout, and Bonds is the number one of all time. I don't know. I was talking to Brendan, 90s Wax, and he collects those kind of guys, and he like doubles down on it. He loves the steroid era guys because it's just like, I don't know, like it's like a stain on the sport, but for me and like the casual fan, it's like almost like a more interesting time in the sport where like a bunch of home runs were being hit. There's all these flashy players, you know, the 90s with all these like, you know, grails and stuff and all these rare iconic cards. I don't know. It's a more of like, I think it'll be looked back on as like a more fun era, and like we should embrace it.
That's a take. That is a take right there. Okay. Yamwax is using the NBA draft when Giannis was drafted. Did you know Giannis was going to be what he was drafted? What, 15th? I think by the Bucks. Because I listen to all these Mavs podcasts and they always bemoan how like they were going to take him with the next pick or something, but they didn't. Did you know what he was going to be, Yam?
Yeah, he was a gangly, awkward player. And he was so young, and everyone wants to find the next Giannis, but it's like, man, it's so tough to project that. There's no you can draft on potential all day long, but like Giannis is 1 in 1,000, you know.
Yeah. That good luck. Those late round guys who turn out to he's not late, right? He's mid first round, but
Still,
it's very tough.
even like Kawhi was pretty polished coming out of college. Like he was an older player. He wasn't like a freshman, you know, phenom guy. So he was like a little bit more known, I guess. But still, it's so hard to project that kind of stuff. I mean, you can laugh at people drafting Johnny Flynn over Curry all day long, but like, dude, Johnny Flynn was like better than Curry in college. You know, he had like bigger games, bigger moments. Curry was on a smaller school team, and it's just hard.
Yeah, it is. Dude, we're getting so many bowl references in both chats.
Because he came into the game late with a big whoop. Richard Miller on telecast was like, Bull's like, you know, Shaq said he's going to be a superstar. Give me a break, man. Come on. What are the odds of that guy becoming a superstar? I bet you in 5 years his cards are going to be worthless. You guys are going to come back and, oh, man, Bull.
Dude, we do not want to see Bull cards selling for 3x tonight. Please don't do it to us.
He made a baseline jumper. It was, you know how people were going nuts over the block and the 3 thing? There's so many. That happens in like every game.
Somebody got a block. He dribbled up the floor. He made a 3.
Somebody does that. Anthony Davis does it like 3 times a game.
Yes, indeed he does.
So okay, Levis. I'm sorry, I'm gonna butcher your name. I've had a few drinks. So many of these cards are gonna be worthless, dude. People are not thinking about that enough. There's so many cards being printed today, and so many players that are not going to pan out. It's the modern junk wax where we're just going to have piles and piles and piles of this stuff, of these sticker autos and these green pulsars and all this stuff. What do you think about that?
Dude, there's so many cards, man. There's so many cards. I think rookies in 2018 product had something like 1,000 different rookie cards if you count up all the parallels. It's just so many cards. Too many.
I watched Gary V's most recent like Q&A kind of thing with people on, and he said, and he was way into the Prism-based PSA 10 thing. He had a ton of it. Luka, De'Aaron Fox, all kinds of stuff. He said those all rookie Prism cards are overpriced. And I think what he meant by that was like, he's just sort of like generalizing the modern market as a whole and like generalizing it into that category. And I know what he means. He's just saying like, man, as a whole, the market cap of that whole genre and that whole set of cards is just way overpriced. There's just too much speculation. And I mean, he's probably like trying to push a lot of buyers and money over to what he is buying. But still, like if you think about it, yeah, like 99% of that stuff in 5 years is just going to be.
Dude, you're so right. A couple of things. First of all, I see people talking about Donruss football in the chat being overpriced. Yeah, baby, it's super overpriced. We bought 2 of them just because super overpriced. Dude, Shayway Vlog came up. He just apparently has coined a term, junk slab era. We are in the junk slab era right
Just
now.
think of all the PSA 10 base cards are going to.
It's so many.
Like if you're worried about global warming, who's going to like handle destroying all those cards? Like the fuel we need to burn to kill those cards.
Dude, wow, that's a take you will only get on the crossover overtime.
Like the physical volume of PSA 10 junk slabs that exist in the world and have to be destroyed via fire or it's just like
Okay, that is deep. I don't even want to think about the implications of that. I just think, you know how the ocean has this like massive ball of trash. That's
Plastic.
just yeah, dude. That's gonna be base cards.
It's gonna be like some dude scooping out the fucking soda rings, what those called, and he's just like, "What the hell is a PSA 10 base?" Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Oh boy.
Not Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. The odds of his cards being worthless in 5 years are pretty good.
Yeah. What about the great players? What about Trae Young? Let's say Trae Young is the next Steph Curry. Josh has gone completely off screen. Let's say Trae Young's PSA 10 goes. Trae Young's the next Steph Curry. You know, he has 10,000 PSA 10 base. You know, do the great players stand a chance here?
Save the turtles.
Yeah, well said, Rodman.
I love Trae Young. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, can I give you my other hot take on Trae Young?
Yeah.
Still think he's overvalued. And the reason that people are buying him, I love Lamine James. He's buying Trae Young, and everyone says this because he's cheap relative to Luka, which is a total false dichotomy. You have to compare him to his full gamut of players in the whole history of the game, not just compare him to Luka because they're the same rookie class. Because Luka, to me, is really separating himself as a complete basketball player, where he went toe-to-toe with the Clippers, hit some monster game winners. And Trae is a great individual player, but there's so much more to this. Just ask Steph Curry what it takes to be a champion. And it's just so many levels away from that I'd be nervous to make that comparison relative to each other.
Yeah. Oh, it just rings true. And, dude, the other thing, man, the Trae market didn't have the dip. I mean, it has retreated slightly, but it didn't have a Giannis dip. It didn't have a Kawhi dip. It didn't have a Luka dip.
Why?
Dude, because he didn't play. Everyone, dude, the best thing that can happen to a young player is that he never plays. It's crazy.
Trey is cheap relative to Trey is expensive relative to Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul, Derrick Rose, on and on and on and on. He needs a veteran's sidekick. I only buy 10-year-old cards because I'm afraid of the bubble. That's not a terrible idea. It's not a terrible idea. Unless you bought Luka 2 years ago.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, 10 years ago.
You and me, well, how or especially me, I'm afraid of all these young guys and investing. But then I started buying Mahomes, and people are maybe questioning me, I thought you said you don't buy younger guys. And I would consider buying Luka at this point, because Luka and Mahomes, to me, I've seen enough. And I'm willing to admit that, I don't want to predict someone is going to be bad or, not live up to their hype. But in general, that doesn't happen. But when it does, and I see enough of it, now I got to believe.
It's true. But what you're saying is just probability. The probability of any player becoming a transcendent athlete. And you have to tune out the ESPN, the 24-hour news cycle, this guy. You have to tune all that out. If you get sucked into that nonsense, you're going to just be led astray time after time. Just be going down dead end street after dead end street after dead end street.
Watch the games.
Watch the freaking games.
Dude, get League Pass and fucking watch Trae Young.
Yeah. I am thoroughly impressed with Mahomes, but it took me a few years to get there. And even last year, I was like, okay, let's see how the Chiefs do when Mahomes is injured. And they were okay. They were not a Super Bowl winning team, but they were still a playoff team without him at the helm. But that goes back to the importance of having a good team. The Bulls without Michael Jordan were a playoff team. We're a second-round exit playoff team. So, you still need a great team around you in most instances. And Mahomes is a great team. He's got a great coach. I just like his style. I'm looking at some Mahomes cards, but they're just so freaking expensive that they're really out of my league, honestly. But
Luka's more expensive, man. I had a day last week where I was like, you know what? I think I need to buy some Luka cards now. And I went online and I was like, holy shit. I'm not buying anything. This is ridiculous. These fucking base prisms are I can't buy anything.
Yep.
There's nothing left. I wanted to buy a select. No, go kill yourself. Select fucking $5,000. There's no way.
Yeah, the select PSA 10 base. The select silver got as high as $24,000 for the court side.
Dude.
And then the last sale to come in was $18,000.
Someone was selling his blue ice for $42,000. Are you kidding me?
Dude, shout out to Putnam. He is in the chat. Putnam is in the chat, the gentleman who's selling that card.
Dude, I hope you sell it for $42,000. I really don't. I don't want to be that guy that's I never post on those Facebook things where that everyone gets all mad about. Oh, don't hate the guy selling it. I hope you sell it for $42,000. I just don't understand it. For $42,000, I can buy the best Grail Jordan card. I can buy a PMG Championship Michael Jordan for that much money, and it's holy crap. Putnam, I hope you sell that thing, bro. Good luck.
Yeah, man.
Send it to auction. Just get your money. That's so much money.
Yeah, there is one at auction right now. That exact card and that exact grade is ending in a few days.
There's not two MJ PMG championships in the market right now, is there?
Dude, you won't find one. I'm still waiting for the MJ Grails to come out. I'm still waiting. Where the hell I guess now a certain individual has acquired some. Maybe a few will come to market, but
it's 200. It's Putnam. You're right. I mean,
is $200K for a gold Prism Luka crazy? Yes, that's insane. Why are you asking that?
Is it?
Yes.
It's
yes,
just
it is. Because you have to look at the opportunity cost of money. Like you just said, what else can $200K get you? It could get you a lot. You could, okay, maybe not. It can go pretty damn far, even in this sports card market.
Dude, give me 200K and I'll show you all this cool shit you can buy. Kidding me? I can buy a bunch of Barry Bonds cards and let's go. Okay, so like I had my interview today for a new episode of Chronicles, and he said at one point, and I just like, it totally clicked for me. I was like, dude, you're totally right. It's about the total market cap for a player. And I've talked about it before, and it's like, you just add up all the Luka Prism rookie cards and you compare them to like MJ or Dr. J, and it's just like, are people really willing to spend 5 times as much on the total market cap of Luka rookie cards versus some of these other guys? It's crazy. Yeah, I get that the blue ice is at a 99. I totally get it. It's a rare card, but he's also got like 20 other parallels that are also rare and serial number. So it's like, how do you distinguish those long term against each other when, Jordan and LeBron only have like 2 or 3? How does that work?
Dude, I completely agree. So, Michael Jordan has like 200 to 300 like important cards in my mind over his entire playing career.
Total.
Total. That's it. Cool inserts. The late 90s too, man. It gets small side tangent here. The late 90s gets like smashed in with the junk wax era. The late 90s was the era of true scarcity, where cards had at most 3 parallels. Normally they only had 1. If you were like looking at like Ultra, you had Ultra Base, Ultra Gold, Ultra Platinum Medallion, and then like I think there was a Masterpiece one of those years for Jordan. That's it. That's the total thing. We had Platinum Medallion out of 100. You had Gold, you had Base, and maybe you had a 101. That is the era of true scarcity. And tracking down those cards is so hard to do. It speaks to it. When you see cards out of 10 popping up every damn day on eBay, and here's some of my saved searches, like Luka Gold out of 10 is one of my saved searches on eBay. And dude, I get an email from eBay every day, 5 new ones listed. That's not the same level of scarcity that a card out of 100, but there was only 3 cards out of 100 that whole year. It's not the same level of scarcity.
How does someone navigate that? Like, how does someone that's sort of just like, I don't want to say blindly following the serial numbering, but how do you navigate that? Like, is there a way? I mean, I have my opinion on this, but how do you navigate that?
What's your opinion on it? I'm not sure. How do you do it?
It goes back to the like picking the top 3 of the rookie card, and it's like you just, because there's true absolute rare scarcity to the Gold Prism rookie card. There's absolute scarcity on the RP at a 99, and like the cracked ice for football and the galactic for basketball. There's a crazy scarcity on those 3 cards, and you've got Gold Prism at a 10, you got the RP at a 99. There's only 110 of those, and that's pretty similar to what we're talking about with the Jordan scarcity from the late 90s. I just get nervous when you start adding in all these other ones, and to me, it comes down to the main ones long-term eventually being the ones that stick out. But, transcendent athletes like LeBron sort of like debunk that, because his X-Fractor and his black refractor and his regular refractor and his gold, they all are expensive. So but we don't know how that's going to play out long-term with Prism, where there are 40 parallels and not 3.
Yeah, and like, again, the key to that with LeBron is that's because 99%, that's not hyperbole, like 99% of the people owning those cards do not want to sell them, and they don't sell them. So when the best thing you can do, and you brought this point up before, like in 2016, you could go out and get a PSA 10 of one of the elite, LeBron golds or refractors from his rookie year, and now you just cannot find that card. You would have to like luck up and it shows up on Heritage or something. The thing that gives value to stuff in a market that has a 1.7 billion market cap for the 3,000 cards we're following is that when people don't want to sell it, when they actually want to own the freaking card. Mm-hmm. So that's what's giving value even to stuff like, and it happens with Luka too. Like all of a sudden the Opulence RPA is like 10K, and you're like, how the heck did that happen? That's like a a lower tier RPA. Although Lameem James would disagree with me on that. And you're like, how did that happen? And well, it's because there's just nothing else, and people want to buy stuff. So people just are like, this is the best thing that's on the market right now. But the rug can get pulled out on that very quickly if all of a sudden everybody's like, okay, time to sell, and then all of a sudden, for whatever might cause that. So you got to think about that. But like, dude, so Jordan has in 1999 Upper Deck products. Jordan was like, he had like 30 cards in Upper Deck sets, and all those cards had parallels out of 100. They have 1 of 1s. Those cards are like dirt cheap relative to much higher print run Jordans. And so what that tells me is that like what the certain cards from certain sets are just important, and we have determined as a hobby that these are the cards that matter. The same, so I'm echoing your big three idea, which like ever since you taught me that philosophy when I said I'm going to get into modern cards, you said, dude, Gold Prism, NTRPA, Galactic. Those are 3 cards that matter, that come from important sets, that are iconic, and they're also rare. That philosophy translates to the 90s as well, because you can go get a Jordan 1 of 1 from a 1999 Upper Deck set for 10% of what it would cost to get the PMG Championship Jordan from 97-98 Metal Universe Championship. So like, it matters. Just the certain brands matter. I think that is the right way to fight against this, the tyranny of overproduction, the tyranny of the junk slab era, is to focus on the iconic cards and, hope that they remain iconic.
Yeah. Some like alien beamed down right now, and he's like, what cards should I buy? I don't know anything about any of this stuff. I'd be like, just go buy Jordan cards. Like, I don't have time to explain all this to you. Oh, they're the most expensive ones. Well, yeah, also he's like the safest. He's the rarest. He doesn't have that many autographs. He stops. There's like so many things that like people just aren't understanding how actually tough it is to get Jordan cards. And he's the most collected. He's the least sold by collectors, where they're just like, I'm not selling this stuff. Like you said, I'm still waiting for Grails. They're not coming out because people are not selling that stuff because they want it. And they're the most like defensive group, like they're so defensive to every looking. They'll just like say anything to discredit any player that's played after him, no matter what it is. And I love that, because they're defensive of their guy and their collector. And it's like, I don't want to say Jordan is undervalued, but like, he's never going to be overvalued. It's just like his market is what it is. The people that collect him for a reason. And he is just like his own bubble of a market where it's just like there's no rules to it. It's just, that's what it is.
Yeah, it's a super interesting market. It constantly presents opportunities. It is completely collector driven. There was this like little weird moment that happened with Last Dance where investors came in, and all of a sudden base cards were selling for more than their insert counterparts. That quickly changed back to normal again.
Yeah, because collectors took back the reins.
They sure did.
And
And
how many
yeah.
like people coming in with the investing stuff, the base prism? How many of those people are buying Jordan cards? Not that many.
No.
Because they can't.
No. Yeah, and because, especially if you want to get the good stuff, you cannot just go on eBay and just find it. You can't just go to any marketplace and just find it. You got to save your searches. You got to wait. You got to go to Facebook groups. You got to seek it out. You got to negotiate and bargain with people. It's tough. It's more difficult to get your hands on those cards.
And LeBron's the same way, man. As someone who buys and sells LeBron cards frequently, we can bitch about like comparing those two guys, but like as a hobby entities, as individuals in the hobby, they're very similar in that the very strong collector bases, very defensive fans, people that will do anything to stick up for those guys, and they want to buy their rare cards. There's people that want to get all the cards, the sets, the grades. They're just beasts of individual markets. They're massive. And like LeBron has, like we've talked about so many times, he's got this built-in prospecting into him and being a legend, and he's got all these, milestones that he's coming up on. He's got retirement, Hall of Fame, all-time scoring leader, another championship possibly. It's a lot, man. It's really then because of all that stuff, everyone that owns the good stuff, the LeBron's like, I'm not selling. Are you crazy? There's so much good stuff coming up in the future. Why the heck would I sell right now?
Yeah, and that speaks like so. Card Fiend was making the point, like, dude, when people start hoarding stuff and they don't want to sell it anymore of somebody they're collecting, then like you do start going to these second tier, third tier products. And dude, that's happening with LeBron. Dude, when I look at what 2018, 2019 LeBron Panini stuff is selling for, golds, oranges, stuff maybe, that's printed to like 200 copies, silvers of inserts from Prism, and even those are selling for hundreds of dollars. Like the LeBron Disco Far Out PSA 10 from 2019 is like a card we're tracking. It's recording sales over $100. It's literally because that's what you can get when you go on the market. That's what you can find, and because people love these new brands. But like that's what you can get, right? Like you can only transact with what's available to you at any time.
Yeah, everyone wants to find like the undervalued player, and I want to look at metrics and that's the thing. People are just overthinking that stuff. Just watch the games and like who's the best players, who are the best, who are the most iconic guys of all time. Like it's pretty simple.
And have some patience. I mean, I have to tell myself that all the time. Have some freaking patience. And if your card doesn't 10x in 6 months, it's not the end of the world. Take a longer time horizon. Everybody was riding so high when that Luka base Prism PSA 10 was 2K. Everybody was a freaking genius, right? Everyone was just the great investor of all time, and now it's 1,200, which is still great considering it was $70 a year ago.
Right.
Okay, so like you're still doing fine. But the appetite for these like overnight gains is this like really unsavory millennial philosophy that like is not a good guide to how to do the hobby the right way. I'm so glad I came in collecting Jordan because it taught me so many mindsets that I learned from the great collectors of how to approach this hobby and enjoy it. That should always be the bottom line of the hobby. You should be enjoying it. If like, you're tossing and turning over the value of your collection every night, you're not doing it right. You are not doing this hobby the right way. Rant.
Good rant. I mean, the thing I struggle with on like to counter that is like people that come in to the hobby today don't necessarily have as much equity built up into it, and that they don't have the knowledge and the collection that you and I have. So I empathize with those people because it is hard, man. It's hard to find undervalued cards when you just don't have as much money, and it's really tough, dude. It's hard. It's the same. You and I, when we came in 2016, we were envious of people that had the credentials out of 8 stuff and the RPA and like. Because we knew it was just impossible to get that stuff, and the people that see stuff that we maybe have feel like maybe that's impossible to get, and it's just going to keep. But you got to kind of make do and like figure out what that next tier is, and take over and find your own lane and stuff. And it's tough. It's really tough. It's hard. This stuff is expensive, and it's hard to like break in and get that stuff you really want sometimes.
Yeah, it's a good point. But especially if you're looking for undervalued things, you're dipping your toe into unorthodox cards and sets and stuff like that. Like be patient with it. Be patient with it. Like, dude, I think every meaningful card that like has a meaningful place in my collection, I paid the record high for it when I bought it. Every freaking time. Yep. And it was never about like, man, let me watch this card 10x in 6 months. It was more like, I need this card for my collection. If I don't get it, I know that these next 10 guys are going to go get it. Like, dude, I pissed off so many people when I bought the 1998 Rubies Jordan. It was on eBay. It was some seller in Minnesota. He put it to auction. It got up to 15 grand. It was raw. It looked not very great condition. I was like, I need this card. I messaged the guy, got him to take the auction down. Had a bag of cash delivered to his house, had a police officer present at a bank vault to do the deal. I'm out here in LA on FaceTime as my brother is closing the deal after he drove 6 hours to Minnesota to do it. like, dude, you just have to take a leap of faith, and if your instincts, if your collector compass is rightly aligned to what people love, then and what you love, then you sleep like a baby over your collection.
Yeah, and I think the consolidation stuff really plays really well into this topic. Like, I feel that if you work up a bunch of stuff and you build it up and you want that big time piece and you feel like this other stuff's too risky and you're nervous about it, sell all of it and buy one fucking huge awesome card. Honestly, just do it. Trust me on it. You're never gonna regret it. I mean, dude, you know how we were talking about, like, you have a bias over what you have and you don't want to sell it all to get, but if I offered you like 1.5x value for your Jordan Red in other cards, just like a pile of other stuff, you'd say no?
No,
You'd
of
say
course, yeah. Nope.
Because you're like, dude, I think the long-term value of the red is better and I think it's more rare and there's no way. And so if you think about it in those terms, like, you would probably pay 1.25x market in a vacuum for that card, and you'd sell a bunch of random cards to get that one big card. I don't want to say, like, I wish more people did it because I'm competing for those cards as well, but, like,
but it's smart.
Every time I talk to somebody that does it, they're always thrilled. They love it.
Dude, yeah. You pioneered the consolidation movement. It is a pathway to happiness for a lot of collectors, myself included. I wanted to go back 1 second. Okay, so, like, we were talking about, like, what about guys who come in, they have $500, how do I start navigating this hobby? Well, dude, here's one way. Pardon my opinion if it sounds very Dave Ramsey-ish, but just do it one chunk at a time, because that's literally, I'm not saying that I did it the right way, but I'm saying that this is how it worked out for me. I came in buying $10 Michael Jordan base card PSA 9s. And then I started buying a couple $50 cards. And then I started buying a couple $100 cards. And the months go by, and then, maybe I'm confident enough to get a $300 one, a $500 one. After 2 years had passed, I had somehow, and you just look back, like, how did I do this? After 2 years had passed, the appreciation of the cards I bought plus the money I had put in had gotten me a PC that was worth about twice what a PMG Red was selling for at the time, which was very cheap. And had you said to me, go get the cash to get a PMG Red, I would have never been able to conceive of that. But over 2 years, I built a collection that had enough equity in it that I could just sell half of it and go get the PMG Red. So, like, how do you do this? Like, this is not a freaking get rich quick overnight scheme. Like, and it kills me sometimes to see people thinking about it that way, or thinking that this is Bitcoin or something like that. That's not how the fundamentals of this thing work. But you can build yourself up. And if you have money in cards and the overall market is going up, those cards will go up along with the overall market in most instances. And before you know it, okay, don't go to the bar every weekend. Don't rack up a $200 bar tab every weekend. And if you love doing that, do it every other weekend. And all of a sudden, you have $500, 2.5, is half of a month, 2.5 weeks, half a month. All of a sudden, you have $500 that you can put into cards every month. And before you know it, you have a nice PC built up. It's appreciating value. You can cash it in. You can cash the equity in and go get a big card.
The chat's going nuts. So awesome. You crushed that, man. Totally right. You know what people don't talk about enough? And you just said it. Everyone's looking to, like, flip their cards up into the bigger card. What about just, like, saving your money? Like you said, like, saving your actual money that you maybe make in your day job or whatever. That's, like, not money you made from flipping base cards. There's also that, you and I just spend all of our money that we make from our jobs on sports cards.
It's true. It's so true.
Like, we're not some flipping geniuses that fucking flipped 1 million base cards into PMG Reds. We just spend a lot of our money on it. And we don't buy fancy cars. We don't, like, you got a cheap car, I got a cheap car. I drive a 2007 Honda Civic, guys. You think maybe you look at my collection, you think I drive a Tesla or something. I drive a 2007 Honda Civic that I bought from my mom for $2,000 cash.
That's so legit. Yeah, that's awesome.
I don't have a pool. My house isn't extravagant. It's a pretty normal house. I just spent all my fucking money on sports cards.
Yep.
That's like the easiest way is to just allocate more of your money towards sports cards and not spend it on shit.
Yep.
Honestly.
you
Sports
got-
cards are a good investment.
Exactly. And you got to love it. You got to love cards. Sometimes people want to have it both ways,
Change the-
You got to love the friggin' card. Dude, I couldn't agree more with that. And the thing that makes it like the market strong is that there's just a decent number of people who are just like us.
Totally.
That it's so simple why
Totally.
it works.
You see people fucking on their vacation homes telling you what sports cards to buy? Don't listen to that shit.
Something's not adding up.
Those people don't spend their money on sports cards. They spend the money that you give them on their picks on beach houses. And I spend my money on sports cards because I know what the fuck I'm doing.
Oh,
Dude.
that's so perfect.
You're with me on that. 2007 Honda Civic meme. The meme James. Hit him with the... I have 50 sports cards worth more than my car. Hit him with the facts, my friend. Dude,
Where's
Honestly.
Lameme at? Lameme left the chat. Somebody page Lameme.
I'm tripling down on that. If someone from their beach house or their giant house is telling you what sports cards to buy, they're telling you what to buy to make their cards more expensive so they can get a better beach house. Get the fuck out of here.
I love that take. Damn, people had to wait 2 hours to get to the gem. Yeah, let's go.
Nobody talks about this. Nobody talks about how the easiest way to get better cards is to spend more of your money and less on the shit.
Dude, that's so freaking true. All right, Lameme says Honda Civic. What color and how many doors?
It's got 4-door, bro, and it's gray. It's the most plain looking. I'm gonna fucking take you to my garage.
Low key, man. Nondescript. You would never know that a cardboard baller is rolling around in that thing.
People, you don't believe me? Let me turn off my security system.
Gotta have one of those. Cannot skip
I'm
on
an
that.
animal.
Let's go. Look at that beaut.
My wife drives a Kia Sorento. I'm a regular ass fucking car. I'm just a regular ass guy.
Beautiful.
I don't have a Tesla. I don't have a fucking Ferrari. Some crap.
Let's go. That is so freaking epic. That's a treat for anybody who makes it to the end of hour 2.
You get to see my '07 gray Honda Civic. It's a 4-door, bro. I'm not an animal.
Shay, I need that Luca 101, man. Tell your buddy, your cousin, or I think it was, we need to work it out because I might buy another one if I don't get that one.
MTV Cribs. Dude, I love that we can just like bat signal Lameme for like amazing ideas that we come up with. And they're like, he comes up with like, dude, props to Lameme. He comes up with like 5 ideas better than what we just came up with in a day. And we're like salivating at this amazing idea. And he probably comes up with like 10 better than every single day.
Dude, he's so humble about it too. He's like, I just a couple memes online, dude, no, dude, the dude is prolific. Is the only word for it. The content. But you know what? Maybe what really is going on. He has a team. There's like 10 Lamemes, and he requires 1 meme per each Lameme per day, and then that's how they get up to 10. There's no way one man is creating all these memes.
Also, Christian, we want to see more of you, man. You did that live the other day. He tried to do a live and show off his meal day. Great idea, because everyone's just like yelling at him to say something funny. They're like, be funny man. You can't just go live with your regular cards and like expect us to be like, oh yeah, cool, man. Like, you got a sick no, dude, you're like an entertainer at this point.
Yeah, Lameme is a legend at this point. He says he gets a lot of smoke. Yeah, you probably do.
It means you're doing it right, bro.
Yeah, that is what it means. And we appreciate you taking those slings and arrows for the hobby, dude. We really do, man.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you go into it knowing what his intent is, it's fucking hilarious. If you go into it being all like high and mighty about every single thing he says, then you're gonna be offended.
Dude, Lameme made a meme of me, my head on a body, grabbing another guy's junk. and it was maybe my greatest honor in the hobby to have been a focal point of that meme. Do you remember that meme? Christine didn't like that meme.
Nobody is safe from, dude. I want him to find something, pick on me for something. That'd be hilarious. You know you've made it when you're in his meme. Hold on. I'm just a regular Joe with a regular job. I'm like an average suburban slob. I like LeBron and sports car. I think, dude, you're right, man. Love it. 20 seconds. This has been great. Thank you, everyone. You guys are the best. I hope you got some fun nuggets here in the last couple hours, and see you next Friday.
Smartest audience in the hobby. Love you guys.
We had 100 people strong in the first hour. Peace out.
The future is here. An innovation that will change the way the industry works. A Hot 100 chart, updated daily. The most accurate price guide on the market. Every card has its own profile with a wealth of information. Know the precise, real-time value of any card in the system. On demand. You now have the power to unlock the secrets of the hobby.